Is the game of golf being destroyed by how far the golf ball is going? Today, we're going to find out. So if you didn't know, recently there's been a rule change that isn't going to come into effect for some years now, 2028 for the pros and 2030 for the amateurs, but it's all around how far the golf ball is going. They're basically calling it the rollback of the golf ball. So they're going to make the ball go a little less further than it does. And today we're going to put that to the test by taking a brand new tailor-made TP5 that has come out in 2024 against some Dunlop 65s. These came out in 1975, these golf balls. They're going to be quite interesting to see what the differences are. Before we do get stuck into this video though, guys, I'm Matt Fryer, and if you haven't already, make sure you've joined the community here. Hit the subscribe button down below. Let's get stuck into this video, and also I want you to answer a question for me a little bit later on in the video about this rollback. Let's tell you what we're going to be doing though. So like I said, there is going to be a rollback of the golf ball, which means it isn't going to be going as far as we see it going at the moment. And I think there's some split decisions on this, which I want you to answer for me a little bit down the line. But what we're going to do here is take a golf ball that is from 1976, and even just look at these things. They actually come in wrappers. Looks like a little sweet. It looks like was it a gobstopper that you would open up and then you would get one out, versus a brand new golf ball, TaylorMade TP5, one of the gold standards that we see in the ball market at the moment. These Dunlop 65s were the gold standard then, actually named after one of the famous golfers' rounds in one of the Open Championships. That's where the moniker 65 came from it. But we're going to hit them with a wedge, we're going to hit them with a 7-iron and hit them with a driver to see how different they are, because when this rollback happens, they're obviously going to limit the performance of what this golf ball would be doing. So it's moving back to something a little bit like this. Maybe not as much, but we're going to see that there's going to be restrictions on the performance. So we're going to get that done. Also, I just want to see what the durability is like on these. If I hit 10 wedges with one of the brand new wedges here, will they actually stand up or will they fall to pieces? Because I don't think the durability will be an issue in the future, but it'll be interesting to see what it was like back in 1975. So let's hit some, then I've got that question to ask you, and let's see what the numbers are saying between these two sets of golf balls. Going to hit the 50 degree now with the Dunlop, and it's the first two feelings there from it. Doesn't feel like there's as much punch behind the golf ball, like you get as much club on the face. It feels almost like a little lighter as it comes off. Has this little wrapper on each one, so when you actually come to it, the number on the sticker equates to the number that's going to be on the ball. It's not too bad. It's like a little treat when you get to open it. Normally it's just a box and throw it out as well. With that, you get a little wrapper. Not very eco-friendly though. The big noticeable difference in the two balls as well is the actual size and the dimple pattern. So nowhere near as many dimples on the Dunlop, and also it was a 1.62 diameter golf ball, as where standard at the moment is 1.68. Doesn't sound a lot, but actually when you put them side by side, it looks like playing with a marble versus a snooker ball. It looks so small and tiny, but let's see how it stacks up. So now that I've actually hit the shots, and before we get stuck into the data, I want to ask you the question. When you heard about the rollback of the golf ball, might even be the first time you're hearing about it now, how do you feel about it? Because I think everybody who watches my channel, they're not PGA Tour players, LPGA Tour players, DP Tour players. You're probably average golfers who are maybe playing at your local golf club, you play once a week with friends, you maybe just go on a golfing holiday. Is distance actually a really big issue with you, or is it more the fact that consistency might be an issue, keeping the ball under control? Or do you walk away from the golf course saying, yeah, I think I am hitting it too far? Because as we saw the pros talk about it, they were split in two camps. You had the likes of Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, who were very much pro what the R&A and the USGA are doing, because they're saying, well, it's taking away the overpowering of the golf course, it's bringing back the skill level, and ultimately these guys are at the top of the distance pile anyway, so it's not going to affect them that much. As where on the other side, we had people like Justin Thomas, who again is a long hitter, saying, it's not great and it's out of touch with the average golfer. And that's what I want to know from you in the comments down below. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Ultimately, we're all going to lose distance. Do we maybe actually change the rules somewhere else? Because I don't think golf courses are getting too long for the average golfer and we're hitting it too far. Is it maybe just that we see the change happen for the pro leagues? Let me know. Just before we get stuck into the data, I actually did a durability test with both of the golf balls. I hit 10 wedges with a brand new wedge and a brand new ball of the TaylorMade and the Dunlop 65. And it's quite interesting to see that actually the Dunlop 65 stood the test. It really outperformed what I thought was going to happen. I thought it would cut up, it would scuff. Now, obviously, if you're out on the golf course, this might have happened back in the day. I know that in the past as well, if you were to maybe thin one with a sort of mid to longer iron as well, the balls used to misshape ever so slightly, but actually standing up to 10 wedges, it did really well, as where the TaylorMade has done well as I would have expected. There was a few slight abrasions on the cover, but overall, that Dunlop really blew me away. I was expecting to be holding it up in pieces as we did that 10 wedge test. But how did these two stack up when it comes to the actual data? There's some interesting results here. So the numbers that I want to be looking at here are the ball speeds, the spin rates and the carry distances. We'll get a look at all the data, but those are the ones that I'm really focused on. And it's of no surprise to say that actually the Dunlop was coming out a little bit slower with my 50 degree compared to what it was with the TaylorMade, a couple of miles per hour faster. We saw the TaylorMade spinning up to 8,800 revs, as where the Dunlop was spinning up to 9,400. And again, this then has a result on the distance. The Dunlop just coming up that tiny bit shorter, nothing drastic at the moment, but we see 109 versus 112, so 3 yards being the difference when it comes to a 50. Now, as I was eyeballing them, I started to think as we were going up the scale, I was maybe seeing a little bit more, and it'll be interesting to see what we see from the next set of numbers. So when we moved into the 7-iron, pretty much following suit from what I said there and what we saw from the 50 degree, it's spinning up a little less with the TaylorMade golf ball, as where the Dunlop is spinning more, resulting in a slower ball speed with the Dunlop than the TaylorMade, and also a lower carry number. 164 for the Dunlop, 172 for the TaylorMade. It was actually interesting because I would say that I actually hit the Dunlop ball better than I did the TaylorMade ball in that set when I was collecting my data. So interesting to see that it's come in that 8 yards short, even though I felt I'd actually hit this one better. But what did we see with the driver? Because this is the area where the amateur is really going to be impeded when this rollback comes in. So driver, and to be fair, again, I felt like I hit both of them well, but as I was watching them as on the simulator, I was thinking that actually the TaylorMade wasn't too far in front of where the Dunlop was going. But the numbers tell a different story. We see straight away that there's a 5 mile per hour ball speed difference from the Dunlop to the TaylorMade. Also, the spin rate, 500 revs difference from the TaylorMade to the Dunlop, which equates to a 19 yard difference. So 263 yards of carry for my Dunlop golf ball versus the 282 yards with the TaylorMade. I don't normally be expecting to get around about 285 to 290 as my normal carry, so a little bit down on that, but that Dunlop sitting, you know, well underneath there, 20 yards. So if you think in terms of what that would mean to you as the amateur, that's probably 2 or 3 golf clubs less for your next shot. So if you're stood hitting a 7-iron, you're going to be tracking back up towards your 4-iron, maybe your 3-iron when the ball comes in. The balls aren't going to be exactly the same as the Dunlop 65 actually. It was interesting, Titleist said that their only conforming ball, if the rule were to come in now, would be the Pinnacle soft golf ball that they do, and I know when I've hit those, I'm about 10 to 15 yards shorter, so not as much as the Dunlop, but it would mean maybe a 1 to 2 club difference. I would probably hesitate a guess that you'll be 2 clubs shorter than what you will be with a current golf ball. So let me know in the comments down below. Like I said earlier, just an interesting test, but how will clubs actually police this when you get down to the golf club? Are they going to check your golf balls if you're playing in the competition to see if you've got a new conforming one? Will you just carry on playing with a normal one if you're playing social golf? Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about the ball rollback. Interesting test there. Was a little bit down a trip down memory lane seeing those in the wrapper, but guys, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you in another video very soon.